You hear a lot of anglers say that impoundment barramundi fishing is making 1,000 casts for one fish at times, and people that are looking into barramundi fishing from the outside will often say, why do you spend so many countless hours fishing for sometimes one bite and at times no fish? And I think it's all about the addiction of getting that bite. I spend so much time trying to fool these fish that the moment you get that flick of the line, that nanosecond where you've sold a fish a lie and it's taken your presentation on face value, I think for me that's the satisfaction of chasing these wonderful fish. Look, they're a magnificent sports fish when it comes to actually battling them and fighting them. And don't get me wrong, I love the fight of these fish, but I'm completely addicted to that bite. I love the fight, but I definitely fish for that bite. Prior to going to any impoundment, I usually take some time to hassle some of the local guides that they've got the right retrieve and the right depth of water to fish often. That kind of information prior to getting there focuses that plan of attack. I know on too many occasions I've spent many hours before cottoning onto the right retrieve, the right place to find these fish, and then I'm in the zone, I can start catching them. That's typically the last few hours of a fishing weekend. If you can get that before you get there, you're in for a whole lot more fun and really getting into some of these great fish.
We chose to use Lake Awunga as the backdrop for our impoundment barra tactics work. The lake is home to a good population of fish and holds the typical range of barra impoundment structure. As always, we chose to call the Awunga Gateway Lodge home for a few days.
Well, there's that point, mate. It's had some heartbreak for us and some great times as well, and that sun's just getting onto it and no boat on it at the moment.
No boat on it, although there was a boat there earlier. But the difference, I think, when we go and have a bit of a chuck at it, we've fished it before and we've got confidence and we know there's fish there. I mean, we've probably only put 40 hours of casting into it, but it's produced a few fish in tournaments and it's probably produced a lot more in social situations. So with a bit of luck, when we sneak over there, we might be able to crack one of those big ones that sit off that point.
That's what I've driven all this way for, and I've driven a long way north to catch up with my good mate Jason Medcalf, who I've spent many hours fishing this impound with and other impoundments in Queensland for our iconic sports fish, the barramundi. There's a whole lot to like about these guys. The weather's starting to warm up. It's a Saturday morning. We haven't cast a line yet. What is this place going to hold for us this weekend?
With a bit of luck, and there's luck and there's making your own luck. What we are hoping for is that the fact that it is warm out, the fish are going to move around. We're going to show a few different techniques, not just throwing plastics at weed and cranking them back. We're going to talk about why we're throwing in the weed. We're going to throw different lures in the weed. There's a very good chance there's some big fish going to be caught. We're going to explain in detail what we're doing.
I've driven a long way thinking about some of the things that these fish do. They're an incredible sports creature. So to get out there and just catch one of them will make that drive worthwhile.
Well, what do you reckon?
I think it's time.
Let's make that drive worthwhile.